The best-kept secret at the corporate firm downtown walked those glass hallways for 8 years, never checked his email past 5 p.m., took his full hour for lunch every single day, and let everyone assume he was just a mid-level guy coasting through life. His name was Marcus. He ran the logistics team, and the week he put in his resignation to start his own consulting firm, a director found out almost by accident that quiet, unremarkable Marcus had built a side business, written a book, and spent every weekend hiking with his kids. Nobody saw it coming because Marcus had committed the one unforgivable sin in modern American corporate life. He looked completely relaxed while being quietly enormously productive. Meanwhile, across the same office, a woman named Sarah, who logged 60 hours a week for 5 straight years, is standing in the elevator. She's clutching a $7 cold brew. Right now, she's refreshing her Slack app, staring at 47 unread messages, running on 4 hours of sleep. Same company, same 8 years. One quiet time millionaire, one loud, exhausted grinder. And the reason for the gap between them is so boring it's almost insulting. And today, we're figuring out why most people are constantly drowning in busy work and why some people, quietly, boringly, absolutely buy their time back. If you've ever looked at your calendar and wondered whether you're doing something fundamentally wrong or whether the whole 9-to-5 game is just rigged against you, stick around, because the answer is a little bit of both. Let's start with the phrase that sounds like a badge of honor but is actually a magic trick. I'm so busy right now. Seriously, the average American white-collar worker is busy for about 45 to 50 hours a week. On paper, we are the most productive workforce in human history. Congratulations to all of us, I guess. Except, we aren't producing more. We're just doing more. There's a massive gap between the hours we spend working and the hours we spend actually moving the needle. The average office worker only spends about 2 hours and 53 minutes a day doing actual, focused, deep work. The rest, it's performative. It's Slack messages. It's emails that should have been a thumbs-up emoji. It's meetings to prepare for other meetings. The gap between 50 hours of work and 3 hours of actual output, that entire chasm is what this whole video is about. Here's why those two numbers are so far apart. Averages lie when the room is lopsided. If you put 9 regular, exhausted employees in a room and a CEO with a team of 4 executive assistants walks in, the average productivity in that room skyrockets. But not one of those 9 regular people got any of their time back. When someone tells you that technology has made the average American worker faster and more efficient, what they're really describing is the top 1% of highly leveraged founders and executives wearing the whole economy as a costume. So here's the real question. If the middle is that thin, if everybody is just constantly treadmilling, how does anybody get to the other side? How does a Marcus happen? Because time millionaires absolutely exist. There is a quiet subset of people in this country who work 30 hours a week, make 6 figures, and sleep 8 hours a night. Something is clearly working for some people. Let's talk about who those people actually are. Because I promise you, it is not who you think. When you picture someone who is hyper-productive, you probably picture Sarah. You picture a hustle culture tech bro taking ice baths at 4 a.m., drinking green powder and grinding until midnight. Let's just kill that image right now. There is an old financial framework that splits people into 2 groups, the income statement affluent and the balance sheet affluent. Let's apply that to time. You have the busy statement affluent. These people look incredibly productive. Big calendar blocks, constant emails, replying to messages at 11 p.m., the whole performance. But their actual output is a rounding error, because everything that comes into their brain immediately goes out in a panic. That's Sarah. She doesn't have a time problem. She has a protecting time problem. Then you have the time balance sheet affluent.
They might look aggressively normal, no flashy routines, they aren't waking up at 3:30 a.m., but their leverage is enormous because for decades they quietly guarded a chunk of every single day. That's Marcus. Nobody at his firm thought of him as a hustler. He just happened to be deeply focused the whole time. Now, I could stop here and say, see, just put your phone on airplane mode and pretend this is a story about personal willpower. But that would be a lie, and you'd smell it. For millions of people, the reason they never get their time back has nothing to do with discipline and everything to do with a system that quietly locked the door before they even arrived. Let's look at the modern workplace. The single most powerful time-stealing tool in American life is the expectation of immediate availability. Since about 2010, the speed of expected replies has gone completely feral. It used to be normal to answer a letter in a week, then an email in a day. Now, if you don't answer a Slack message in 14 minutes, people think you've died. The money and time that previous generations had left over to think, to build, to rest, the surplus that feeds the machine of actual wealth, has been steadily eaten by the basic cost of just staying visible on a glowing rectangle. You're not imagining it. The gap between your job description and the endless digital noise it requires is real and measurable. When your parents tell you they used to leave work at the office, they aren't lying. They just happen to be standing in the economy before the floor tilted.
So the system is tilted, the door is locked for a lot of people, and the digital math is unforgiving. Where does that leave you, specifically, right now? It leaves you somewhere more hopeful than it sounds. Here's the strange twist at the center of all of this, and it's the thing I promised you back at the start was almost insulting. The recipe to getting your life back is stupidly simple. It is genuinely one of the most boring recipes in the entire world. Rule number 1, stop reacting. Treat your attention like capital. You do not let random strangers reach into your wallet and take $1 whenever they want. Stop letting them do it to your calendar. Turn off notifications. Check communication tools exactly 3 times a day. Rule number 2. Build leverage. Leverage means doing something once that pays out forever. A template, an automated script, a clear boundary. Marcus didn't work faster than Sarah. Marcus just refused to do the same task twice if a system could do it for him. Rule number 3. Do the hardest thing a human being can do, which is let people be mildly disappointed in you. Saying no to a meeting means someone might think you aren't a team player for about 5 minutes, but saying yes steals an hour of your life you can never, ever get back. Don't try to look busy, just be effective. That's it. That's the secret the hustle cultural gurus don't want framed on your wall. Congratulations, you just learned the entire strategy in 3 sentences. I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, Nick, that's fine for a boss. But I'm a junior employee. If I ignore Slack, I get fired. And you might be completely right. That's the honest part nobody says. If the margin isn't there yet, the answer isn't to hate yourself. It's to know precisely what the game actually is, so that the moment even a little room opens up, a promotion, a job change, a quiet Friday, you point it straight at building systems instead of straight at doing more busy work. Because that's the real difference between our 2 guys. It was never about the size of the workload. Sarah took on more work every year of her life. Marcus just started carving out boundaries earlier in the same spot and refused to stop, refused to panic, refused to let a busy schedule trick him into thinking he was important. Sarah spent 8 years looking important. Marcus spent 8 years quietly being free. And the 2 are almost never the same people. The math of modern work is brutal, but it isn't magic. It is just early, boring, relentless boundaries applied to whatever room you can carve out. And if you can find even a little of that room and start pointing it at your freedom instead of your inbox, then 30 years from now, you get to be the person nobody realized was free the whole time. Either way, start today. Because the one thing you can absolutely never buy back is time.